Alright, we continue the Batman vs. the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles review series with... We'll start the Dark Knight trilogy with... Batman. I put TMNT in the case. Oh, so stupid. With Batman Begins and the Blu-rays and the... So from here on in, the way it's gonna go is we got Batman Begins, then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2014, The Dark Knight, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, Dark Knight Rises, and then Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then after that, I'll just be doing like other Batman movies and other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles specials that they did. Just because these are the main theatrical release movies I want to do. I know The Killing Joke was released in like a small bit of theaters, but I'm not counting that. Once I get done with the theatrical releases, I'll go into the direct-to-video stuff, you know. And I don't know if that will exactly follow a pattern, or if I'll just... I think what I wanted to do with the pattern is the main theatrical ones. So after the theatrical ones are done, I don't think I'll do them in a pattern of Batman, Turtles, Batman, Turtles, Batman, Turtles. I think I might just, review whatever I can think, whatever I can get going. So let's start with Batman Begins. And I remember when this came out, right? I had a magazine. It was a Disney Adventures magazine. It had all the characters. I don't think there was another magazine I had, too. It was a bigger magazine. Something. Maybe I had a Batman Begins book. Like a big book thing. And then I remember looking through, I remember seeing the characters. Yeah. And Liam Neeson was in there. And I don't know why I didn't catch it, because I'm a big fan of Batman the Animated Series, right? And they made Liam Neeson look exactly like Ra's al Ghul, and I didn't catch it. He calls himself Ducard, but I don't know why I couldn't catch it, because I'm privy to those things where I can catch that. Oh, I know who that's supposed to be, and I didn't think about it. But it is what it is. You see Bruce struggle with trying to... what he should do with the guy who killed his parents. Because, in every incarnation of Batman, the way Bruce Wayne's parents die. In this version, they actually show who it was. Joe Chill. Which I believe is who did it in the comics. But Bruce has a decision to make. He shows up to a court date. He has a gun in his pocket. And he's going to shoot Chill, but somebody else beats him to it. It kind of presents that if that happened to you, if you went in there ready to shoot the guy who killed your parents, and someone else did it, would you be relieved because he's dead? You didn't have to do it, or would you be angry because you wanted to be the one who did it? And this movie starts out, it's non-linear with the way it tells the story. It starts with Bruce imprisoned somewhere in, Singapore or something. Eventually he meets Ducard, and he's run into League of Shadows. He realizes that not the people he wants to be with, and he quote-unquote kills Ra's al Ghul, and he saves Ducard. And then we get on to this, the story of Batman. Yeah, why do we fall down? So we can learn to get back up. I think that's how he says it. But I gotta praise some performances in this. Michael Caine, Christian Bale, Gary Oldman, and Morgan Freeman. Very good performances in this. Villain, Liam Neeson is the main villain, which kind of irks me a little bit, alright? Because I remember when this first came out and I saw that the Scarecrow was going to be the villain. I'm like, yes. Because we haven't had a Scarecrow. I didn't know this at the time. We were supposed to have a Scarecrow for Batman Triumphant. It never came out. But we never had the Scarecrow in a live-action film or anything. And I was ready for that. And I remember when I first saw this, I was underwhelmed. Because I'm just like, why wasn't the Scarecrow a bigger part? Scarecrow was essentially a lackey for Ra's al Ghul. And Ra's al Ghul fits into the bigger story of the trilogy. Yes, even though the second film doesn't have anything to do with that, but it was kind of its own thing, but which I liked, but just the fact that they made the Scarecrow. Scarecrow is one of my favorite Batman villains. Up there with the Joker, the Riddler, Two-Face. You know, Penguin's okay, but when you bring in the Scarecrow, it's like he needs to be the main villain, but he's a lackey, basically. He's doing this his fear toxin is being used by the League of Shadows. Or Assassins, or whatever they're called. League of Shadows, I think, in this one. Being used by the League of Shadows. I'm confused because I watch Arrow. Being used by the League of Shadows. Arrow Season 3 basically does the same thing in its climax, except for it's not a fear toxin, it's a poison, I think. Or a poison gas or something. But it's just... I've never liked the way that they've treated the Scarecrow. And yeah, he's in the second one and the third one in cameos, but it's not really that big of a deal. Like when you have the Joker in the second film, he's the main villain. He's the one advertised he's the main villain. And I remember the trailers and the TV spots showed the Scarecrow front and center, but that's not the way it was. He was a lackey. That's one of the things that really upsets me about this is the Scarecrow should have had his fair share as a villain. Not just, we'll put the Scarecrow in, but he's not the real villain. We're going to put someone else there. I think he could hold a movie on his own. What would his ends be? Who knows? But it seems, because the way he was going, he was getting these patients. It could be a selfish means, he's getting these patients that he can work on, and he can, work on his fear toxins, and eventually he's going to release it on the entire city, and that's when he can take hold. That way. But you had to work Ra's al Ghul into it, which is, you could have picked one. You don't have to use both. But I understand that the fear toxin works with Raz's plan, but who knows? And I said, Gary Oldman does a good job as Commissioner Gordon, or James Gordon. He's not Commissioner here, which I understand it's a prequel, or, an origin story, which I'm not a big fan of origin stories, but I seem to gravitate towards this one more than The Dark Knight. I've never gotten, the Dark, I think all three of these movies are good movies, but I've never gotten the how people say that The Dark Knight is the best Batman movie ever made. I'm sorry, but I don't even put Christian Bale in my top 3 Batmans. No, I don't. And I count both live action and animated. We got Michael Keaton number 1, Kevin Conroy number 2, and Adam West number 3. See, because I grew up with those Batman actors. And so I'm going to gravitate towards those more than the guy who used to be a newspaper boy for Disney and Newsies. I like Christian Bale. He's fine. But he's got the Batman voice. And it's just, he's fine in the role. I love the line where he says, guy dresses up like a bat clearly has issues. I like that. and I like his the one scene that I always kind of try to. I understand what he's trying to do, and I understand he's not really that way, but it's the scene where he shows up for his birthday party, right? And he has to act like an asshole to get them out of there. You know, oh, you're feeding off me. You're here just for my money because my money and all that stuff. Like, you know, what he says there. And I think the one thing that really bugged me is that he's right. Just think about it. If he hadn't come back to Gotham, what would they be doing right now? They wouldn't be at some party. They'd be at home or doing something else, or find someone else with money to go, someone else's with money's ass to kiss. Because also he comes back and then all of a sudden it's happy birthday, dear Bruce. He's absolutely right. They are there to kiss his ass. He's absolutely right. And I think that's what really irked me all these years. I always thought, oh, he's being a jerk. But now I'm watching this, and I understand why he did it. And I understand that he's absolutely 100% right. They're there to kiss his ass. But I know he did. And on the other side, I know he didn't mean anything that he said. He just did it to save them. Yeah, and Alfred, let me go. Yeah. Yeah. I like when they're trying to get that beam off of him. All those push-ups. What's the point of all those push-ups if you're not going to do anything or something like that? It's like, if you're not going to do anything, if it's not going to help. I don't remember how he says it, but I just laughed. But yeah, I do like this one. Just slightly a little bit better than The Dark Knight. Dark Knight won Academy Awards, and I get it. People are going to gravitate towards that. Fine. But I've always preferred Batman Begins. And I'll talk about my feelings towards The Dark Knight when I get to it, because I'm sure it's going to be controversial. And I don't want to say it here. I almost did, as you might have noticed, but I'm going to wait. Yeah, so anything else I can say about The Dark Knight? I think, not Dark Knight, Batman Begins. You got me confused. Where's the... Your parents' death was not your fault. But if you yourself more than just a minute. Nope, not that. This is a booklet that came with the trilogy. I had the DVD version, and then I bought the Blu-ray version once I got the Blu-ray player. Here's the thing, right? He goes to Lucius Fox, he does other stuff, and Lucius Fox doesn't really come out outright and say it till like the third one, I think. But he's known from the beginning that Bruce was Batman. What I never noticed is that they do a callback to the 1989 Batman too. He's got, was it Flash? And Flash asks him, "What the hell are you?" And he holds him up and he says, "I'm Batman." Well, I never realized he did that. It's one of my favorite lines from the Tim Burton one. So, yeah, it works with this one too. There it is. There he is, right there. Yeah, so there's nothing else I can say. Give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for Batman Begins. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. What are your thoughts about Batman Begins in the comments below? Do you think The Dark Knight's better than it? Do you prefer this one better than do you prefer this one over The Dark Knight? Let me know in the comments below. Are you one of those that likes The Dark Knight Rises better than the other two? Let me know. Like, share, and subscribe. And love, peace, chicken grease.